Coffee prices are about to skyrocket. Let's discuss. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another coffee rant with Dano and Frank, our Patriot Bald Eagle. Tonight, we are drinking Starbucks. Needed something strong to get us through this. Strong coffee is going to be probably pretty expensive, especially with the Arabica beans. We're going to start seeing these go up in price. If you have to pause on this video to get your coffee or whatever beverage you deem necessary, go ahead and do that now, as this will be a lengthy discussion. Okay, so we've been saying this was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen. Coffee has steadily been going up over the last few months, and we are expecting it to skyrocket here as we go into summer and beyond, with issues with El Nino and some other things going on. We're going to be discussing some things that we're taking off of Newsweek here. Newsweek, we're just going to get right into it here. I'm going to read a little bit from Newsweek here, and then we're going to talk about what we've been seeing in the stores, some of the things you guys have been seeing in the stores, and a lot of things that we've been getting comments and emails from a lot of our viewers. No joke, time to start stocking up on some of your favorite coffees. If you find a good deal on it, don't hesitate. Buy up a few, as we are expected to start to see coffee prices go up even higher than they already have over the last couple years. Some places where it's been recently going up over the last couple months: Aldi, Walmart, a lot of the cheaper stores that we can find coffee. We've noticed a lot of price increases here. We've noticed these over the course of time, and saying that, you know what, it's not going to be long. When we start seeing them go up at Aldi and Walmart, we know that it's going to be going up everywhere else eventually. So we're going to get into Newsweek here. They start off by saying coffee prices are spiking. That is the article, if you would like to check it out. They go on to say, as global coffee markets tense up, prices are surging, driven by fears of decreased output from Brazil and Vietnam, which are major producers in the coffee industry, as we all know. Amid a brewing storm of supply challenges, the price of coffee has spiked to new heights as concerns over a dry season in Vietnam threatening Robusta yields, combined with erratic weather in Brazil affecting Arabica crops, have prompted a sharp rise in coffee futures. Now, we've been talking about this for months. We've been saying that, as we go along here, this was going to be one of the major items that goes up in the grocery store. Now, we've seen significant price increases on a lot of the different cheaper coffees, from like 8 o'clock coffee, Seattle's Best, a lot of the, coffees like Starbucks, Peet's Coffee. Peet's Coffee's gotten really expensive. Get a lot of comments on that one. But Peet's Coffee's kind of leveled off. So has Starbucks, but these are the ones that we're expecting to go up next. We knew the cheaper coffees were going to start going up first, like Kroger, $8.99 for a can now. We see the small bags anywhere between $5.29 to $5.49. These are significant price increases over the last year or so. They go on to say, as the U.S., a major coffee importer, braces for impact, the ripple effects of the supply fluctuations could affect everything from the cost of a morning brew to the financial markets. The surge in prices comes at a time when global inventories are low and speculative trading is on the rise, further fueling market volatility. According to Vietnam Coffee Cocoa Association reported the report that was issued Tuesday. Futures prices for Robusta coffee, the bean used primarily in instant coffee and espresso. Now, this is interesting because we've been seeing instant coffee go up lately. Some of the different ones like Nescafe, we've seen that over the last year. We've seen a couple different price increases on that. We've seen price increases on Folgers. People have expressed, being able to get the bigger canisters of Folgers from like Sam's Club and stuff for a little bit of a better deal. We're expecting to see those go up eventually there as well. So again, I say, if you can find whatever deals that you can now, even right now at regular price, may be considered a deal, considering how much it's going to be going up here in the future. And we don't really know when. I have gone over this article. We just know that it's going up. We don't know when. Don't be caught off guard. Make sure you're ready and stock up on some coffee. A lot of our friends and family have been talking about this as well. A lot of prices on coffee going up around here. We've seen some pretty decent deals lately. We saw where Kroger had their big canisters of coffee on a digital coupon for $4.99. A lot of our viewers have been stocking up on that. Usually when we see a deal that's that good, not too long after that, we'll see a price increase. Now, the big canisters at Kroger have been $8.99 for a while, over a year now. But we're expecting that to jump up again. When? Only time will tell. But, let's get the deals while we can. If you like your coffee as much as I do, you want to make sure you're well stocked. Okay, they go on to say the VCCO. So they were talking about the ongoing supply shortage in Vietnam, and then they said maize delivery prices reached highs of $3,849 per ton, with July contracts at $3,769 per ton. So that's significant. Quote, despite high export figures, Vietnam predicts a 20% drop in output in the current crop this year, which will likely affect exports in the remaining months of this crop year. And I said increase, I meant decrease because of yields. They're expecting a lot less as far as yields go as exporting. Quote, combined with the fact that the market is waiting for rain in Vietnam's coffee region, the supply situation will probably remain tense. Now, the problem with this is that when this does happen, it's going to be a long time before we see these yields change, because obviously time is the answer to more product. But at the same time, don't believe for a second that means we're going to see prices drop. We don't see prices drop. 10, 20 cents doesn't equal to the increases of $2 to $3 over the last year or two. So, to see it drop a little bit, even when things start to get back to normal, I don't see it really getting any cheaper. In Brazil, where Arabica, the bean used primarily for house blends and specialty coffees, is predominant, prices have also been under pressure. Arabica coffee futures saw an upswing this month, partially due to unusual weather patterns across Brazil's coffee growing regions, according to the Agraway Partners, a company that specializes in competitive grain marketing. Specifically in Minas Gerais, I probably killed that there. Specifically in Minas Gerais, Gerais, which accounts for about 30% of Brazil's Arabica production, there was an excessive rainfall of 75.4 millimeters, over 3 times the historical average. The excessive moisture is feared to have damaged crops at an important time for bean development, Agraway said, potentially diminishing the quality and size of this year's harvest. Okay, now we get into the El Nino stuff. Quote, an El Nino pattern typically brings heavy rains to Brazil and drought to India, negatively impacting coffee crop production. The El Nino event may bring drought to Vietnam's coffee area. So we got crazy dry area in Vietnam, and then we have oversaturated area in Brazil. It's like the double-edged sword that's just, wreaking havoc on our coffee productions around the world. That is bad news for the U.S., which is vulnerable to global market shifts as the world's largest coffee importer. In 2023 alone, the U.S. imported around $8.2 billion worth of coffee. And you better believe they're not going to lose out. They're going to put that money off on the consumer. So therefore, that is going to be raising our prices on coffee. An estimated $1.35 billion worth of coffee came from Brazil, which 365.75 million worth of coffee husks, and substitutes that came from Vietnam, despite challenging growing conditions reported in the region. Imported from India were negligible, according to data issued by the International Trade Administration. With the U.S. position as the biggest importer, the spike of Robusta and Arabica coffee futures signals potential increases in retail prices by consumers, like we just said, at grocery stores and coffee shops. Guys, I'm telling you, and this is just one thing. This is just coffee. Okay, but we are seeing things that are changing because of weather, because of past events, different events going around the world, with conflicts going on around the world. This is creating more havoc on a lot of the different supply chain, food chain, all these different things. Why we always talk about, hey, don't hesitate. Start preparing. Make sure that, the stuff that you eat on a regular basis, the things that you drink on a regular basis, it's a good time to start stocking up on these things if you haven't already. Some people will say that if you haven't started stocking up on these things, it's too late. I'm a believer it's never too late to save money for tomorrow when it comes to products that we can always find a deal on. I know sometimes this could mean changing the way you do things, maybe changing your coffee. You may have to switch around. As far as food goes, getting creative with meals. We had said, we've been talking about this for a long time, but over the last few months, we knew there were going to be some significant price increases on things. We're having issues with beef, apparently. A lot of people are talking about beef in different articles and on YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of different beef yields are very low because of different things, different events, weather, prices, right? Farmers are dealing with prices on fertilizer, not being able to afford a lot of these things, different, all different kinds of product yields are very low. So this is going to cause prices to go up here, probably in the very near future. We've already seen it with chicken. We have been getting a lot of comments on egg prices dropping, but I only think they're going to be going back up because the whole avian flu, the whole bird flu thing seems like it is just getting more massive. I've been reading different articles where it's spreading to other animals, and we need to be very, very aware of what's going on so that we know that we are preparing for the future. Back to coffee. It's hard to tell which ones. I feel like a lot of these companies, they know more than I do, and they're preparing. You can't raise your price too much, right? Or people just will not buy Starbucks, right? Or they won't buy Peet's Coffee. I mean, Peet's Coffee is already one of the most outrageous prices out there, unless you're looking for some kinds of specialty coffees and stuff like that. But this is a time where we know a little bit ahead of time some of the information here that we are provided. And the way I look at this is kind of a little nudge, like, hey, these prices are going to be going up. So if you like your coffee like I do, I've been stocking up on coffee for a while because, yeah, I mean, I don't want to be stuck paying $20 for a can of coffee. That right now is $9. Not saying it's going to go up that high, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't. The way things have been going over the last couple years, the heavy inflation and everything else. I know people say, well, inflation numbers don't have anything to do with food. They really do, because everything that is involved in getting said food in the stores, gas prices, everything else going up, housing prices, insurance prices, insurance on vehicles. So insurance on vehicles is going to cause that more to be put off on the consumer on all the different products that said transportation is delivering to the stores and all that stuff. So I don't know. Like we always say, keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you are paying attention to all these little things going on. Every time we get one of these little news breaks, I always try to put in a coffee rant. Because, yeah, these are things that we really need to pay attention to, because these are things that are going to really be going up here in the near future. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.